All right, welcome back to Battle League. Today's going to be a match in the Ultra League. The team I'm running today is going to be Alolan Muck, and I have a bit of a twist on mine. Most of the Mucks are going to run Snarl and Dark Pulse and Sludge Wave. That lets you charge your Muck up faster and throw a very strong Poison attack move as well as a strong Dark type move. The other way that people run Mucks is to run the fast attack Poison Jab. You pair that with Acid Spray, which is an attack debuffing attack. It lowers the defense level by 2 and then makes your Poison Jabs, which charge slower, do a lot more damage. I went in the middle of those two things. So I'm running a Poison Jab Muck with Sludge Wave. So trying to catch some people off guard. If I happen to run to any fighters, on the lead here, that would allow me to be able to possibly catch them off guard, thinking they're going to get hit by an Acid Spray, which you would never shield, and then get hit instead by a Sludge Wave, which will do a lot of neutral damage to them. And then the team's going to be rounded out by also a Cresselia, which I run Future Sight on mine, tailored with Moonblast, which gives me coverage over the fighting types and any kind of poison types, which is different than most Cresselias, which would run Grass Knot. So we'll see how that works out for me. And then my team is going to be finished off by an altered form Giratina, which is going to run Shadow Sneak for coverage over psychic types and kind of just neutral base damage because very few things are going to resist Ghost type. And then the twist on mine is that most will run Dragon Claw, but I run Ancient Power because I found that in many cases, if I run to a Talonflame, they don't expect it. And if you hit a Talonflame with a rock type move, it just crushes them. It also gives you a chance of buffing your attack and your defense by two different stages. It's a very low chance of that, but if it does, it turns your what is a normal tank with low attack power into a super tank with high defense and some very strong attack power too. So let's see how the matches play out today. So I start out with Muck against Obstagoon. So this is going to be a first test of what I mentioned with that Poison Jab and Sludge Wave combination, hopefully catching him off guard. I'm going to power up to the I'm going to charge up to the Sludge Wave here, hoping that he's going to think that it's an Acid Spray and he will not shield it. He's going to be throwing Cross Chops at me, which do like a neutral amount of damage to me, and which would take about 4 of them to knock me out. So hopefully here I can land this Sludge Wave on him, which will do a lot of damage and put me into a place where I can likely charge up and finish off the next Pokemon with a possible Dark Pulse. So he does not shield it, thinking that it is the Acid Spray. So that's huge for me, a major benefit. And their Cross Chop's is gonna come through here. I can tank it. It's no problem at all. I'm gonna keep on fast moving him down to charge up my Dark Pulse for whatever comes in next. So that's a huge win for me. I get to win Switch. I keep my Pokemon with a charge attack, and I get to see what comes in next. And it's a Registeel. So I get to kind of get a 15% attack debuff on that with my damage kind of chip coming in here. So I do hit him with that. At this point, the Registeel is in an awkward place. It needs to fast move me down with Lock On, but I'll get to another Dark Pulse. So he does throw, trying to kind of keep that damage off of his Reggie here, which I'm probably sure I would have thrown, or I would have kept that attack charged and just locked down on me, because I can come in with this Giratina and he swaps with his own, and I just counter swap with my Cresselia here because it has access to Moonblast. The difficult part for me here is that Giratina is good against both my Pokemon. So he's a major threat. So I have to essentially shield everything that he's throwing at me, hoping to get off a third Moonblast to knock that health down to maybe half or less, where at that point I can hopefully attack him down with Shadow Claw of my own on my Tina, or maybe my Shadow Sneak would be able to finish him off. So we'll see how that works out for me. It's just going to be kind of a race here of him throwing Shadow Sneaks and me blocking them, and me trying to get off a Moonblast. I need to get to that third one. The third one will probably take out a little over half of his health and possibly even give me a debuff. These Moonblasts have about a 40% chance of an attack debuff. Any of those would be huge for me. We'll see if I maybe get one here. That'd just be a major benefit and maybe like tilt the chance of the victory in my favor here. So he does block those, and I did not get the debuff either. So at this point, it's just going to kind of be a race down to see, can he get to 2 Shadow Sneaks before I can get to 2 Moonblast. Unfortunately for me, I'm probably going to lose that. I will not be able to get to 2 Moonblast based on that. I'll be able to get to 1, but he swaps back into Registeel. That's a questionable swap. He was going to definitely defeat my Cresselia there and come out with energy on his Giratina, but he swaps into Registeel, probably trying to catch a Moonblast, so that might end up costing him. I can probably safely just attack him down here and maybe come out of my attack down with him with some charge up energy for his Giratina Ultra that he's got. So we'll see how this plays out, but he really can't pressure me enough with his flash cannons, a zap cannon, or a focus blast, which are the 3 moves that he has access to, in order to get my attack or my health down to a point where it would be a danger. So that might have been a misplay by him, and it might cost him the game here. We'll see how it plays out, though. So I've got him down to 1 more Shadow Sneak, and then this flash cannon here will do some damage to me, but not enough to really be worried about. I do take it. Yep, I take it very, very well. I'm getting to that next Shadow Sneak, but I might be able to farm him down. I'm going to go for the farm down here to try to get all the damage out, and if I do, it's going to be huge. I do farm him down. That's huge for me. So at this point, I've got 2 banked attacks. I can go ahead and safely drop this one, and then immediately swap into my Cresselia, and then toss a Moonblast. So at this point, it's going to take a miracle for him to be able to pull this one off. I do swap immediately into my Moonblast. Go ahead and get this. If I get the attack debuff here, it's a game over. I don't know how much energy that he has. I wasn't counting his attacks, so he might have enough to get to a Shadow Sneak. We'll have to see. I try to fast move him down. He'll be able to get to 1 more, it looks like here. Oh, but he does quit, saying that at this point I can just swap in with my own. After my Cresselia falls, swap in with my own altered form, and then just Shadow Claw him down. So a good game, but that swap to his Registeel there was probably a bad decision. He probably shouldn't have done it. So, all right, I got a Crobat here. In this matchup, I'm looking to just Poison Jab and Dark Pulse. I'm not trying to fool him into thinking I've got anything else. At this point, the 2 options that the Crobat has are to use one of his shields and survive by 2 Dark Pulses, and likely get to 4 Poison Fangs that would eventually take me out and give him switch, but would lose his shield advantage. Or he can opt to not use either shield and then just see if he can tank me down with Poison Jabs and his fast move, which is a blind type attack that does neutral damage. So he takes the first one. So the question is going to be here, does he want to shield the next Dark Pulse and go down a shield and then keep a very low Crobat that'll be pretty energy dry? If I was him, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably just let the Crobat go down and then hope to come in with something that is not weak to the Dark Pulse. So I'll have charge up with my Muck. So let's see how he plays it out here. The Dark Pulse is going to come on through. We'll see if he shields it. He does not shield it. Okay, so that gives me switch, and I have a slight advantage here in terms of what I can power up to. So an Escavalier has access to counter, which is what he's hitting me with, and that's going to be an attack that's going to do neutral damage to me. It's not a great matchup for me. He has access to the charge attack that's Drill Run, which I had to just go ahead and not block here. I can take it, but he does an Acid Spray. That's a mistake in my book for him to have thrown that, because there was no chance I was going to block there, and the Acid Spray does nothing to me. So at this point, I know that I need to shield whatever comes up next, and I can hope here to get that massive buff again, because if you throw an Ancient Power, you have a chance of getting a double attack and double defense buff. It's like a 1 in 10 chance, but occasionally if you get it, it turns them into a monster. I didn't get it here though, but I had to shield this Drill Run because it's going to do a lot of neutral damage to me. So I do shield it, and he swaps in an Umbreon. Well, that's a problem. This team, the only way that I can deal with an Umbreon is the fairy type attack Moonblast that Cresselia has, but it's going to take like 4 of them because it's just a total tank. At the CP that this Umbreon is at, he's at least level 50, which means that he can take anything that I have. And at this point, there's really no way for me to win this match. It's going to be a GG. I'll play it out for a couple of Moonblasts and see if he makes a mistake, his game freezes or something. But if his game doesn't crash, I can't win this. The game's already over, because the dark type that he has resists my Cresselia's fast attacks by two different stages, and his 2 shields means that my Moonblast that I have to charge up to, he can just block. And then once he knocks out my Cresselia, I would be left with a Umbreon that might have 30 or 40% health, and then my Giratina just cannot do enough damage to knock him out. So this one's going to be a GG. I'm going to go down, looks like 1-1, but it happens. That was a good Pokemon that my opponent had here. So I'm fighting the good fight for a few more turns here, but I know inside that this one's over. There's no way that I can win this. So we'll see when I go ahead and fall on my sword. I probably should already have done that, but here I am still fighting it, hoping to get, and I go ahead and just quit. I was hoping to maybe get a lag, or his game might crash, or maybe his phone rang, but no, I don't get that. So I go down, or I tie myself 1-1, and I hope to hopefully come back here. We'll see what the opponent has to start with. The opponent has a Scrafty. So this is going to be the same thing I mentioned in the first match with Obstagoon. As a fighting type, he's going to think that I have access to Acid Spray, but I'm running Sludge Wave. So I'm hoping that he's going to know he's going to no shield the Sludge Wave, and if he does, that'll be a way that I can flip this early game, which I would normally lose. Normally, the Scrafty is going to keep throwing power-up punches and counters and just get stronger and stronger. And if I'm going to throw an Acid Spray, he'll be able to win that race of countering me down with power-up punches and counters, as opposed to me throwing a Acid Spray and then my poison jabs. But he does not shield, thinking that I had that Acid Spray, so I got him again. So I'm getting my opponents through some tricky play. So at this point, he's pretty much dead. He can swap if he wants to save the Scrafty for later. Just go ahead and let it, or just go ahead and let it fall down. He's probably going to go ahead and just let it fall down to me. It's going to be another power-up punch here. I can take that. That's no problem at all. So I'm going to go ahead and just let this power-up punch come on through, and I'm going to have a Dark Pulse that'll be charged up for whatever comes in next. It is a Tapu Fini, so it's going to do a pretty pitiful amount of damage to it, but it's better than nothing. It's damage I wouldn't have got, so I'm kind of already off on a bit of a positive front here. I do come in with my Cresselia. Unfortunately for me, I don't have access to Grass Knot. So I'll be looking to probably hit him with a Moonblast to get that attack debuff, or hope to get it, and then probably start playing Future Sights. But he switches in a Talonflame. Okay, so here's the other thing I had mentioned before we started playing. A lot of Talonflames don't think that a Giratina is going to run Ancient Power. It's not a very good move. It really only has use against Talonflames. But I am running it, so we'll see if he decides to block or not block. If he takes this attack, it's going to be big trouble for him. I overcharge here, trying to make him think that I don't have it, and we'll see if he ends up taking this attack or letting it go through, or blocking it or letting it go through. And he lets it go through, and I get the attack and defense buff. So at this point, he's in huge trouble. I can shield this. It's gonna be a Brave Bird, which should do a lot of damage to me, but I can still shield it. And then now I'm buffed out of my mind. At this point, he's in huge trouble and should probably just go ahead and quit. Let's see what he does. And he does go ahead and quit. At this point, with two different shields, a buffed up Tina, there's no way that he can defeat me. It's just time to go ahead and quit on that one. So I go up 2 games to 3. That's a positive one, and I've been pretty pleased that my 2 things have worked out for me. I snuck in a Sludge Wave twice and an Ancient Power where people don't normally run that, so worked out for me. I got another Crobat again, so he's going to play out probably the same as the second game. I'm looking to just Poison Jab down. He's going to look to Poison Fang me down, and we'll have to just make a choice. One of the two of us, if he wants to shield this first Dark Pulse, will kind of tell me what he's thinking. If he shields it, he's going to probably try to keep his advantage with switch advantage with his Crobat, and if he lets it go through, he's going to probably let his Crobat go down. So let's see what he does here at this very first Dark Pulse. It's going to do over half his health, so he has to make a decision on this first one. So let's see what he does, and he takes the attack. So in my mind, that's him saying that he's going to let his Crobat go down. At this point, he will not be able to win the race. I don't have to give up any kind of shields. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this next Dark Pulse at him. And at this point, for him having not shielded the first one, he can't shield now because he'll still lose to me in fast move attacks. He throws a Shadow Ball, just kind of like his YOLO attack. He knows that he's going to go ahead and let this thing go down, might as well do as much damage as he possibly can. That's what he does here. So let's see. He does let it go through. All right, so that knocks out the Crobat and gives me Switch. And I have a little bit of damage I can do to whatever comes in next, and it's a Surfetched. So a couple things here about Surfetched. He has access to Night Slash. That's a problem for me. It's good against both the things that I've got left. My Cresselia, though, is a very good counter to him. I can tank his Night Slash and then I'm doing really good damage with my Psycho Cuts and hopefully a Moonblast. That's a good swap by him. He does catch the Moonblast on his Lapras, does neutral damage. Maybe I'll get an attack debuff. I don't get one. So at this point, I'm going to look to probably him with another Moonblast to maybe get that debuff on him. But I can't just bring in my Giratina instantly because his Ice type attacks are a major threat to me. Both Laprases are going to run Surf and Ice Beam. And whereas Surf is going to just do some positive neutral damage, Ice Beam would absolutely shred my Dragon type in the back. So I can hopefully hit him with a Moonblast here, pray for the debuff. Let's see if I get it. I do throw a Future Sight here, just trying to do some positive neutral damage to get him down to a range where now a Moonblast will knock him out. And he's going to throw another Surf at me here, which I can take. I don't have to shield this. The issue for me is that Surfetch in the back and that Night Slash. It has a possibility to buff his attack up to 2 different stages, kind of like what the Ancient Power does, for me if I do land it. So when you have that as a possibility and I'm weak to it with all the things that I've got left, I have to take every one of them until he gets the debuff or until I can't help but to block it. the reason why that is if you block the first one here, and I was to say this Pokemon, then if he was to get the attack buff, at that point, all attacks that he would be doing would be doing extra damage. So I have to just keep taking these. So I'm going to go ahead and just take this one too, and just hope he doesn't get an attack boost on it. And at this point, he's at half health. I have to pretty much just fast move him down with Shadow Claw and hope that I can survive what will probably be 3 or 4 more night slashes. So if he gets the attack boost here, I'm going to be in trouble. But let's see what happens. He does get the attack boost. So now I've got to shield everything. I can't let anything else go through or I'll just be knocked out. So at this point, I'm going to pray for my own attack boost with the Ancient Power. I don't get it. So I can hopefully just fast move him down, and I should be able to before he gets to 2 more night slashes. So here's the first one, but I got my shield ready this time. I'm not going to let this one come on through to hit me. So I'm going to be okay. If he got another attack boost, it might be hairy. He did not, so I can go ahead and just fast move him down. Good game there. That's why you have to save your shields for the very end in a case like that, because without those two shields there, I would have lost a matchup that I probably should have won early on. So a good game there. My opponent played that great, but I just played it better. So I go up 2 games to 3 here. Let's go into the next game. Actually, I think I'm 3 games out of 4. So let's go into this next game here. A Trevenant. This is a positive lead for me. So at this point, he swaps in a Swampert. Okay, so I swap into my Dragon type. I don't want to get hit by too many Earthquakes. 2 Earthquakes will knock me out. I can let one come through. I'm gonna let this first one come through. It might be a Hydro Cannon bait. So I'm gonna just go ahead and call it. And it was the Earthquake. So that's unfortunate for me, but I just can't let another one come on through. So it's time for me to start hitting him with my charge attacks. My ghost type attacks do neutral damage. As long as I don't get hit by another Earthquake, I should be fine. I'll be able to get off at least one more Shadow Sneak, and without a shield, that should be able to knock him out. So he's going to throw a charge attack here, and I didn't count right, but this should be a Hydro Cannon after I get off my Shadow Sneak. So I get this one off. He won't block this one. So now I'm into fast move attack down range. At this point, I've lost count of his attacks. This could be an Earthquake or it could be a Hydro Cannon. I have to just call it. I'm going to call it being an Earthquake. So I block. It was the Hydro Cannon. That's unfortunate for me. He's going to be able to get to another Earthquake, and I could have done a charge attack. So at this point, I'm going to lose Switch and my shield advantage. This is not good for me. Unfortunately, I called the wrong move. He threw a Hydro Cannon bait, and I blocked the bait. So that is not good for me. I did not want to line up my Cresselia with the Pokemon that he led off with. So we'll see how this works out. At this point, the Walrein has access to Icicle Spear and Earthquake. The one thing I can't get hit by is Earthquake. So he is going to either try to bait me with an Icicle Spear, which I would not want to block, or to block the Earthquake, which will do enough damage to just hit me in one shot and then to get me with a knockout punch. So let's see what he hits me with. I overcharge here just a little bit, trying to make him think that I might be throwing a Sludge Wave. I block what I hope is the Earthquake, and it's the Icicle Spear. So I got hit by the bait on both chances here, and he might have enough here to throw in another Earthquake at me. If he does, it's going to be a one-shot. Let's see if it's Icicle Spear. It is the Earthquake. So I get one-shotted. Boom! I'm knocked out. That is tough. At this point, I can't win. He has 2 Pokemon and a shield to just my 1. And that was actually my last set. So that actually finished my set. I think I won 3 out of 5. Yeah, it was 3 out of 5 today. And that last match was a good example of, I'll kind of go back to it again. On that Swampert there, I lost count. So you have to kind of count whenever you're facing a Swampert there. He charged up enough to throw a Hydro Cannon or an Earthquake, and I thought he might be throwing the Earthquake to knock out my Giratina, but he threw a Hydro Cannon bait. At the next point, I should have blocked or thrown my charge attack myself right here where the screen is paused at. But I overclicked and I did a charge, or I did a fast attack, which allowed him to get off his Earthquake. So if you call the bait wrong, you have to be okay with whatever happens next. And unfortunately for me, I called the bait wrong twice. So I won 3 out of 5 today. Wasn't bad. But this last one here, I think I probably misput my way into a loss. But thanks for watching today. Hopefully it was fun for you. See you.